really fun to be able to chat with Michael and Jeffrey Eisen. The book that's out is called Empowered Youth, A Father-Son's Journey to Conscious Living. And so chatting with them right now, wonderful stories, this great relationship, but that wasn't necessarily the case growing up and into some of the late teenage years. And so I'm going to start with Michael because I find the story is really quite interesting, how the relationship built. It wasn't so lovey-dovey for quite a while.
Absolutely not. For the first 18 years of my life, felt like we were worst enemies. I was what you would call the spirited child in a very nice way. Basically meant that I didn't listen to anybody, lived life to the beat of my own drum, had to do things my own way. And I grew up in a household with a father that was my way or the highway, extremely controlling. Here's a box. This is where you need to fit into the box in order to be successful. And I was not a box type of person. I broke that box wide open.
It was right around the age of 19, second year at university, where things just kind of seemed to crash a little bit for you, and for you that was almost your awakening as well.
Right. I had what I felt like a lifetime's full of challenges in the first 18 years of my life, and it all culminated with a breakdown when I was 19 years old. And I was down and out, I was in a very dark place, and I had no idea how to get myself out of that. And in walks my dad, the most unlikely of source to show up and actually provide some assistance. And he had changed his life around and inspired me to do the same.
This was something that happened around the age of 50, when you're kind of going through, you've got wonderful success in business, in life, and you're looking for something more at that time.
Yes, I think my daughter said I had a midlife crisis, but I didn't shave my head or buy a fancy car. I decided to get to know myself, which was really a wonderful experience for me, a great intense journey of self-discovery.
And I think the change was then so much with the changes that you were made, but you were no longer requiring changes from him. It was more that you just opened up to what it was, who it was that he really was.
Absolutely. One of the things I realized is if you really want to inspire someone, just change yourself. You don't have to control them. Just make the changes, and that will be an inspiration for those around you.
So you're both going through very, life-altering experiences. How does something like this then come together, and the stories that we see in this book, for it to realize how the relationship then grew from there?
Well, it was him becoming a life coach, going from running the family steel business to becoming a life coach, like complete 180 in like less than a year. And so I'm in this down and out state, and I see the changes that he makes in his life, and it's the actions, it's not the words that he's saying, it's the actions that he took in his life that inspired me. And I said, well, if he can do it, I got to be able to do it. And I became his first student. So he got a chance to learn how to be a life coach, and I got a chance to, really, I got a do-over in my life, and we got a do-over in our relationship. And so I started learning all these new principles and strategies and philosophies, and my life started getting better and better and better.
One thing is you were saying you learned a lot about each other reading each other's stories. This was your own writing put together. Did you find that interesting to see?
Fascinating, because we decided that we would each separately write our story, our history for the same time. And when we started to read each other, a lot of similarities, and I would say, oh, I didn't know Michael was going through that, and Michael would say, oh, I didn't know Dad was going through that. So it was really, it was a great healing process. The whole family was involved. My daughter was the editor, my wife was the proofreader, and so it was really a family affair.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see too. I mean, you have this journey, but you also offer advice and tips for youth, and even for parents, and just of what you would want to say to them. And I think there's the you part of the youth is really the critical component.
It really is, because that was the lesson that I learned and I would like to share with others. When you empower yourself, when you take care of yourself, you are so much better to take care of someone else. And the idea is, of course, as you become empowered, then we will be able to empower the next generation.
And that's exactly what you're doing right now. You're working with the next generation, doing a lot of talks, seminars, group things with kids. We have run out of time, so I know there's a lot on the go, but the book is available, Empowered Youth, A Father-Son's Journey to Conscious Living. Really some interesting stories available within it, and great life lessons.